Hello there, how are you? I wanted to share with you a portion of God's Word that has been striking me deep in my heart these couple of days. This passage is from Mark chapter 5, verse 21. And I'm going to use the NIV. You can follow by just looking at the screen. When Jesus had again crossed over by boat to the other side of the lake, a large crowd gathered around him while he was by the lake. Then one of the synagogue leaders named Jairus came, and when he saw Jesus, he fell at his feet. He pleaded earnestly with him, "My little daughter is dying. Please come and put your hand on her so that she will be healed and live." So Jesus went with him. A large crowd followed and pressed around him. And a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had. Yet instead of getting better, she grew worse. When she heard about Jesus, she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak. Because she thought, "If I just touch his clothes, I will be healed." Immediately her bleeding stopped, and she felt in her body that she was freed from her suffering. At once Jesus realized the power had gone out from him. He turned around in the crowd and asked, "Who touched my clothes?" "You see the people crowding against you," his disciples answered, "and yet you ask, 'Who touched me?'" But Jesus kept looking around to see who had done it. Then the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell at his feet and, trembling with fear, told him the whole truth. He said to her, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering." This is the words of our Creator. Assuming the person listening to this is a believer, and if you're not, you will be encouraged to know that this is the words of the holy, the just, and the true one, God in heaven. In this passage, Jesus is just now landing on the other side of the sea. On the other side of that sea, there was a demon-possessed man, and that person was healed, and the people there were afraid because of that healing and exorcism, and they pleaded with Jesus to leave their city. And after this, Jesus just packed up, went with his disciples to the other side. When he came to the other side, a man named Jairus, he's a synagogue leader, which means he is a person that is within the authority of the Jewish law. A synagogue leader, he came down, and when he saw Jesus, and when he saw Jesus Christ, he begged him. He fell at his feet, and he begged him. Jesus had no reservation. In verse 24, we see no reservation with Jesus. But along the way, we see this woman, who Mark describes as a woman who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. That is all we know about her. But she heard about Jesus. What did she hear about Jesus? This faith healer, this miracle worker, this good guy, right? This carpenter turned celeb. She knows a lot about this. I mean, she's heard enough. She knows. She's heard about Jesus. So what was her conviction, her knowledge, or the information that she gathered about Jesus Christus, or Jesus? This person gave her this faith. Her hearing about Jesus Christ gave her this faith. if I just touch his clothes. He is like a fountain of healing. So if I touch his clothes, I will be healed. And she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak. Look at Leviticus 15, verse 19. It says, when a woman has a regular flow of blood, the impurity of her monthly period will last 7 days. In the law of Moshe, so Israelites are, if you are a son of Jacob, if you are a son of Israel, you have to be a disciple of the law. And knowing the consequences, I'd imagine should be in fear. So that's what I assume this trembling and fear is all about. And she came and told him the whole truth. I like this. The whole truth. What struck me from this entire passage. I want us to go back to the entire trigger of this narrative, which is Jairus coming to Jesus and begging him to help his daughter. My daughter is dying. And then she would die. After this episode, she would die. Your daughter is dead. That's what the synagogue leader hears. That Jesus tells him to believe, and then Jesus goes, and I want how people call people, what names people used to call people, and what Jesus calls people. So Jairus, he calls his 12-year-old daughter, my little daughter. And the people that came from Jairus' home, I assume, told him that his daughter is dead. So that your daughter, we don't know her name, but she's a daughter. And then we have commotion and wailing. Jesus says the child about Jairus' daughter. And then in Aramaic, we have an Aramaic word here, which is Talitha cum. So Talitha is little girl. So he's just calling her little girl. What was the woman right here named? Mark says, a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. So if I wanted a review of this passage and went to Mark to ask him, hey, Mark, you remember that woman that Jesus healed? Jesus healed a lot of women. I wrote about a lot of women. That one, the one that came. Oh, the woman that was bleeding for 12 years and subject to more pain because of doctors. Not stating the name of doctors, but that's how Mark referred to her. The father of the little daughter said, my little daughter. Jesus said, child and little girl. Mark said that this woman is a woman that is subject to bleeding for 12 years. This woman, knowing what had happened to her when she came at his feet and trembling with fear and told him everything that is true, Jesus tells her, daughter. That's what Jesus calls this woman. Nah. Are you the woman that has been bleeding for 12 years? Are you the woman that has been a subject of quarantine? You sit on it, no one sits on it. Imagine the stigma for 12 years. Imagine the identity crisis this woman would face. She won't feel like a human being. Even the doctors had to wear some sort of hazmat, similar thing to approach her. She was suffering. Even the society had made her suffer. Not only the doctors, but society must have made her suffer. She must have felt less than human. No wonder she felt fear and trembling, with the intent to tell every single thing, even what she ate for breakfast, because she felt dehumanized. What does Jesus call her? You thief, you trying to steal? According to Moses' law, you can't even come near me. Get away from me. No, that's not Jesus. What does Jesus say? Figater. My daughter. My little daughter. My daughter. That's what he says to her. You be encouraged. Your faith saved you. Go in peace and be healed from your suffering. That's